Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Ryan, and this is another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan. You see the subscription button, do me a huge favor and do me that solid. We are talking about rap shit, episode 3. Just gonna do a brief recap. Out of the 3, probably my, I guess, second favorite episode out of the 3. I think episode 2 is my favorite so far. But what I did like about this one, it's actually, diving a little bit more into what the rest of the characters on the show is about. So let's get into it. We started out with the guy, Guap Dad 4000, being on a selfie. I guess he's at the club. Then he's on a strip club. He's just having the time of his life. And of course, right there with him is Duke of Miami, who also goes by Duke. And I thought it was cool because we actually get to see more of this episode. I felt like we really got to focus more on into what Duke is up to. And I felt like the overall theme of this episode is just like this cycle of people either getting screwed over, and the person who got screwed over is looking for another way to come up. Well, at least that's what I got from Duke when it's all said and done. So nevertheless, she's having, the time of her life with Guap Dad 4000, all that stuff. She, took him to show him a good time. Sounds like she may have provided him some drugs as well, whatever the case is. And, the first sign of a reoccurring theme of being screwed over, as the night comes to an end, I guess as the night comes to an end, she talks to Guap Dad's manager and was like, hey, man, I'm glad I had a good time, so let's get squared away. And hey, the manager kind of just like brushed her off. It was like, hey, yeah, that was a great time. Hey, next time we in town, we're gonna come kick it with you. Nothing about payment, but at the same time, of course, it's wrong what they did. Like I said, I'm under the assumption that the manager owed Duke money for the time that she showed him, or if nothing else, perhaps for the drugs that she may have supplied to him. But nothing. But still, at the same token, it's not like she was that direct with it. She was kind of passive aggressive with it or whatever. But I thought that was foul. Then we, it seems like one thing I do like about this episode, or I guess just the show overall, it definitely shows that this generation, and who knows, the generations beyond this, it seems like their whole mindset is you need more than just your typical 9 to 5 to get by. Like, for example, I know, the way my parents were and my grandparents and stuff, it was like, hey, find yourself a good 9 to 5 or a solid 9 to 5, work your ass off, and then, hopefully you got some stocks or some other type of investments. But mainly, work your ass off for the 9 to 5, and that way you can just chill on retirement and perhaps some stocks that you may have invested in. But I think this generation, our generation, and I think the ones that'll come after us, I think it's more about, hey, we need more than that 9 to 5 to make shit happen. For example, you got Mia. Mia works as like some type of retail store, but nevertheless, she has a 9 to 5. She's, I guess, like a freelance makeup artist, and she has her OnlyFans, and she's dipping her toe in the water with this rap group thing. And Duke doesn't seem to have a 9 to 5 at all, but she has all these, seems like several things going on. Once again, at least what I took from episode 3, part-time drug dealer, I guess, or at least supplier of some sort. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess a liaison or some type of, party tour guide when it comes to, like celebrities coming through Miami. And I think what is the most revealing about this episode, I'm gonna say she definitely comes off like a struggling pimp. Yes, a struggling pimp. Her and her uncle. As I mentioned, after she kind of gets screwed over from the manager, they go into, she goes home. I guess she's, roommates with her uncle. There's no AC, and I'm sure if you've been to Florida, you already know. Florida is hot as hell. Florida is miserable hot sometimes. So to go in a place that has no AC sounds like suicide. But as I said, she goes back to her crib where she's roommates with her uncle, and it's like you got girls coming out talking about, "Hey man, we about to drive around the block just so we can get some AC." So it seems like they both are like running some type of struggling, pimp service. That's the best way I could put it. The uncle was funny though. Uncle definitely had me laugh and had some few funny lines in there. So yeah, it definitely sounds like Duke is just out here trying her best to make something out of a situation. Um, so yeah, that's what we got there. Um, and another thing that was interesting, we actually see Lamont. I think that was another case of someone getting screwed over. And also, I did like the Lamont storyline in this episode because to me it came off like it's really how it really gave like a live look at how people on social media can really be. If you remember on episode 2, Lamont was just on episode 2 in his nice car, had the big watch on, talking junk on Instagram, talking about he's getting money, blah blah blah. Episode 3, his car get towed, and was jeopardy of just repossession. So I think that's very telling. I think there's a lot of Lamonts online. They on the gram or TikTok or whatever social media platform they on, fronting like they got things covered when they're probably just one missed payment from repossessing them damn selves. So I think it's very telling in how our society is ran today in a sense. So hey, don't let folks on Instagram fool you. Some people there's a lot of Lamonts out there. That's the best way I could put it. But as I mentioned, he definitely sees that his car is towed. And there's always that one guy who is kind of annoying, like, oh damn, I didn't know it was your car they was looking for. I'd have came and got you. But anyway, so yeah, I thought that was very telling. And even with him, he is scrambling for money. Him and Duke are in the same situation. But instead of him being like a struggling pimp, he's a struggling, I guess you could say struggling. Yeah, struggling music producer. He had to leave his daughter so he can go try to, pawn some stuff to get some money to get his car out of repossession. Yeah, he's kind of down bad, but yeah, definitely kind of down bad. But yeah, it was very fine how it was done, and I think another life lesson. This episode really gave a lot of life lessons. The best thing that is like if you're going to do like business, like being a producer or whatever it is, if you're going to do like some type of business outside of your typical 9 to 5, have some type of contract available or something, because it's easy for the whole he said she said or whatever the case is, and it's next it's your word against that person's word, and it's just very, very hectic and very sad. Just on a personal note, I do freelance photography sometimes, and if it's a job that's like a wedding or something like that, I definitely take a deposit up front, and instead of them waiting for the photos to be done, I want the rest of my payment like right after I finish shooting the event. So there needs to be some type of standards, rules in place or something, so you don't get screwed over like what we saw Lamont. Like Lamont is like, he has a payment from, I guess, this rap group or whoever needs to pay him. That's like 3 months overdue, and it's like unfortunately it doesn't seem like there's much he can do about it because he didn't have some type of contract in place. So he's definitely got screwed over. There is some type of, I guess you could say, care or empathy between Mia and Lamont. They kind of have like this, I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of situation going on. And, outside of them being, parents to to a daughter together, it's like, look, let me give you some of that money you gave me, get your car straight. But in return, I need you to do some beats for us, which I thought was fly, man. I thought that was very fly. Just to see that there's still some type of cordial dynamic between the two. And that one scene, they did remind me of Hustle or Flow a little bit. Like, just, you see like this, I guess the best word I could think of is like you see like this magic happening of somebody producing a beat, and you see like the natural reaction of someone like, you know what, that's it, that's the one right there. And I thought that was very dope about how Lamont, he took their verses and he pieced together a beat that went very well with the song, with their lyrics or whatever. And so I thought that was very dope. I think it just was like a small reminder of, like I said, of hustle and flow. Just the whole, let me create a beat, see the person reaction, like, okay, they feeling it. I mean, granted, I'm not a scammer by any means, but I do feel like, spending that much money in one place and just shit is all good. That definitely just seemed kind of unrealistic. Like, I remember watching this. It was this documentary on the guy. He was like point shaving for like Arizona State, big time point guard. But the dude who was betting on the Arizona State games, he and his homeboys, they was going to like just like a shit ton of different casinos, and they would bet like just under $10,000 on Arizona State games, and they did that so they would be under the radar. And the reason why I bring this up, I figured there's some type of red flag if you're just buying $5,000 worth of stuff at one store, and the $5,000 worth of stuff is not like, some furniture set, bedroom set, or like, some type of, big patio furniture pieces or something like that. You're buying, just random Pampers, Xbox systems and stuff like that for like $5,000 total, and like it doesn't raise a red flag from like that store. Outside of the cashier asking for ID. I don't know. To me, I just felt like buying that much stuff in one store would raise a red flag. I would think they would take the Arizona State, point shaving scandal approach and go to like, I don't know, just a shit ton of different Walmarts or Targets or whatever, and just buy a few $100,000. I mean, maybe a few $100 here, maybe $500 there. Just make a day out of it instead of just spending that much. I felt like it would just raise a red flag. I know I'm taking way too long on that. I love how you can just kind of, I don't want to use the word cliquish, but you could kind of see like the networking that's been developed. First two episodes, we got to see some familiar faces. In this episode, we see, I forget his name in this show, but we see Ahmad, who played Issa Rae's brother in Insecure. He was a partner in crime when it came to the whole Walmart scandal or whatever store it was at. So I like seeing stuff like that. Issa Rae is really creating her circle, and if you look at certain movies or whatever the case, you see they got just certain circles of people that they just kind of, this is who they always just use. Adam Sandler and his crew, I think Jimmy Fallon has a crew. Kevin Hart has a crew, The Rock, Lil Rel, whatever the case. I think everyone has their clique. So, but nevertheless, I just love that Issa Rae is reaching back to some of the folks who made Insecure so good. Let's play some throughout this rap shit. Oh yeah, and I guess kind of just to wrap it up, the part where it's like, okay, now let me see. I got screwed over, but now let me see where I could use other people. I definitely still think it must be some type of pimp work that Duke is doing, because she tried to recruit a couple of the girls. Well, she tried to recruit the one girl who was trying out in being a stripper. And I think that she's like a struggling pimp, mainly because, well, yeah, we see where they live at. It's not like they're flourishing or anything like that. It's not like she's dressing the flyest. I mean, there's nothing about her that stands out that says what I'm doing in life is successful. It's like but that's just me. Well, she's trying to recruit girls from the strip club, but at the same time, it's definitely struggle pimp university, because, her girls is getting robbed after they reenact what they was getting down doing as far as performing fellatio and this and that, this and the third. and apparently a guy came through with a gun and just robbed everybody. This might be a whack prediction, but I don't know, man. I think they lying, bro. I think they're lying about that whole thing. I think they don't respect Duke, and then maybe they're like trying to pocket the money to themselves. That's just me. And also, just more of the pimp chronicles of Duke. You know, towards the end of the episode, she well, actually, you know, let me reverse it. And that's one thing. Once again, I have no experience in scammer life. I have no experience when it comes to any type of pimping a damn thing. But I don't know. I thought you would have like I thought the process would be a little more involved. Like somebody, I don't know, some type of person is like security when it comes to these type of transactions. You know, like, you know, because at the end of the day, if I'm right, and you know she does some type of pimp work or sex working, it's almost like you're meeting random dudes that you don't know from Adam. So you might want a big, scary looking dude to make sure shit is going all right, or somebody to make sure shit is going all right. Like, you know, but that's just me. But we also see that she has another girl. Perhaps Mike, maybe what's the phrase they use? Like the bottom bitch or whatever. She picks her up from like this nice fancy hotel, and she has good news to report. Like she's talking about like the dude is gonna like fly her out to somewhere and all this other stuff. So, you know, seems like she does have someone who is down for her. Once again, kind of almost, you know, Hustle and Flowish type of vibes, except Duke don't do any rapping. And I thought it was kind of hate a little bit. I thought you know, Duke's girl kind of was hating, like she was Duke was bringing up the fact that Mia is rapping, and not only she rapping, it sounded pretty good. And that was hate when that came in. She was like, "Oh, all she doing is talking shit. I could talk shit." You know, I thought that was kind of funny, but hating at the same time. And then that's where we see, you know, of course, after Lamont lays down, you know, like a nice production, the closing scene, we definitely see Duke is trying to, you know, get put on with Mia and Shawna before Mia and Shawna blow up too much. And I don't know, maybe in season, I mean, it looks like from the previews in episode 4, they take her up on that or something, and maybe Duke is going to take them out to like some of the clubs with whatever type of, you know, hookups that she has. But who knows? That might be a situation to where, you know, all parties involved can you know have great use for each other. Like Shawna and Mia could get access to some of these clubs that Duke has access to. Maybe get their record played at these big time clubs or whatever the case is. And in return, I don't know, maybe Shawna and Mia give Duke a try when it comes to letting Duke become their manager. I don't know. I think it could work. But all in all, I'm still rolling with it, man. I'm still rolling with it. Definitely wouldn't go on a limb and say it's my favorite show or anything like that, but I'm still rolling. I'm a huge hip hop fan. Definitely a huge Issa Rae fan. I'm talking Adventures of an Awkward Black Girl fan. So I'm definitely here for whatever else rap shit will present to us. And hey, these are just my opinions, folks. Love it or hate it. Peace.